Walking Dead Season 2 started off with a bang, quite literally. After getting caught by the Supreme Court, fighting off McCarthy, meeting a doctor who faked his degree, and finally got a ticket on the magic school bus, we end off with me and a bitten Pete escaping some K-pop stands. Can episode 2 be any better? We'll get to that later. In any case, like and subscribe for your daily recommended dose of illicit substances, and let's go smoke some crack off Budget Negan's ass and start The Walking Dead on Crack Part 5. After our grand escape last episode, making Mao's Great March look like a minor jaywalking episode, me and Pete couldn't resist the allure of an ice cream truck. Unfortunately, Pete's excitement at the cold refreshments gets the best of him as he screamed, "Women deserve rights," getting us surrounded by every 4chaner in the state. Pete asks me what I'm looking at as if his ass didn't get bitten by a sugar baby looking for her payout on the escape. But, oh, he's going for the saw. Are we about to see a Lee-esque God moment?
Bleed out like a stuck pig. What are you gonna do? Carry me out of here on your back?
To be fair, Clem probably could. She's been carrying Season 2 so far. I don't see how carrying a few of your mothers would be any different. I realize I have Dora's backpack, so I look for the right tool for the job, but unfortunately, feeding crack inside a talking backpack had some unforeseen consequences, and it ends up recommending useless shit. Pete asks if I have any water left, and to save what remains of my hydration molecules, I say nah, I'm actually trans with a TCLR subscriber-induced schlong, and just pissed in the bottle to prevent my dick from blinding everyone around us. I try to turn on the engine, but whoa, women should be able to vote. Fuck, I think I just made things worse. Pete asks if I found anything good, and I respond with lung cancer, to which he doesn't mind considering the circumstances. Unfortunately, there's no crack in the box, so I recommend him my other videos, and leave his dick and jawline to go through metamorphosis while I take a nap. Unfortunately, leaving a bitten man 3 times my size while I sleep wasn't really the best idea, and as I poke on his corpse, oh no, it's worse. His math skills deteriorated to my level. I ask him how dying feels like, and he says he can't Hey, whoa, hey. Come on now, Pete, you know I can't make that joke. He seems to be hallucinating as well, as he seems to think I'm Mother Teresa asking me to take care of Nick. I'm 11. The only thing I'm taking care of properly is my Barbie dolls. Fuck you mean save him from his mommy issues? He seems resigned to his fate and says he'll act as a vanguard against the 4chaners. I convince him to join me in my escape as I have a secret weapon that'll break through their defenses. After throwing out an Axe body spray nade, we break a hole and push through, but Pete trips over his magnum dung and we left the unsubscribe button back in the van, leaving us with no choice but to resort to Pete's plan as I make my escape, hit the walkers with my patented holocross, and make my way back home. Carlos asks if I'm alright, but knowing he couldn't do shit if I was, I refuse to answer, and apparently Luke and Alvin went looking for us in Miss Frizzle's bus. I tell them Pete got bit, and Rebecca reminds us this game takes place in the American South as they prepare to go save Alvin. Despite the arduous adventure ahead of them, Carlos gives me the hardest task of all and asks me to look after Sarah. Fuck. You might as well put me as a suicide hotline operator for Hannah Baker. How the fuck you expect me to? But he leaves me with a warning: don't open the door for anyone. So you lock the door, right? Right? I get blinded by Sarah's camera and she asks me to take a picture of her as well, which gives me an opportunity to distract her, albeit not without a little fun.
Okay, I'm ready. Take it. Clan?
Unfortunately, I couldn't stall long enough as she asks where her dad is, and I tell her he went to get cigarettes and milk, devastating her. Apparently this is Hannah Baker as she pulls out the hollow tips. How the fuck you get a gun? I wouldn't trust you with the rusty bread knife. Who gave this shit to you? After giving her some Lee advice,
first, remember, it's just a thing.
I teach her in preparation for her supporting role in our next drive-by.
Hey, Luke's back. That's not Luke.
I tell her to hide, I'll handle it until, come on, you know I can't make that joke. Unfortunately, he's too quick on the draw, inviting himself. Ew, his drip must be from Flint, Michigan, cause that shit ain't clean. Why the fuck you dress like you put stock into crypto?
Spare change. Spare change, ma'am.
I tell him I have herpes to prevent the worst and that my dad is named Ed for some reason. Might as well have said his name was Guinevere for all the fright Ed's gonna put into Mr. Dollar for a coffee. He says he's searching for his people. 7 of them he lost somehow. Oh, he did not have to do Rebecca's dog like that. He points out we have a lot of dishes for 2 people, but I tell him to stop fat shaming with a Twitter in one hand and a cancellation hammer on my left, but he reminds me this is Musk's platform now, foiling my strategy. With the way he's standing semi-awkwardly alone with a child, I'm half expecting Chris Hansen to just show up like,
"What are you doing here today?"
Well, White's in trouble.
3 moves away from checkmate.
Okay there, Bobby Fischer, you're about $3 away from finding your next meal, so how about instead of acting like you know how to play chess, act like you know how to flip burgers and get yourself a fucking job. After squeezing his asshole tighter than the fucker who cheated against Magnus Carlsen, Sarah can't help but let out an excited laugh, foiling our plan as the homeless man goes to check upstairs. Sarah hides in...
Is you dumb?
But it's a good thing the American education system has dropped in the last few decades. That apparently goes both ways, as Sarah left out her fucking picture she could obviously see in that position, only for Carver to snatch it up. I try to play even dumber, however. The plan is foiled, as the homeless man knows there's no one out there dumber than him, and leaves without telling me his name, in what I can only assume to be a move to go retrieve his shooters.
What if he comes back?
He's searching for you and knows you're here. Of course he's coming back. The rest of the group comes back from their field trip to Nick's chromosome, and Sarah can't stop from spilling everything and throwing me under the bus. At least have them offer you some food first. I see the new Pokemon game released, and they finally decided to give a new evolution to 6ix9ine.
You just opened the door for him?
And you just opened the door for them? Maybe if you locked the fucking door before leaving, he wouldn't have walked in. What the fuck did you want me to do? The door was the Maginot and I was friends. It was a helpless situation. They inquire if I asked his name.
I didn't ask his name.
You didn't ask his name?
There was no fucking speech bubble for that. I'm fucking 11 trying to play Mari here, solving your relationship problems.
The case of 11-month-old Lila. Drew, you are not...
Sarah begs her dad not to hurt anyone, worried of course because Carlos damn sure wouldn't be able to heal any injuries he inflicts.
Open sesame! Well, I've done all I can do.
Sarah, shut the fuck up. I'm just gonna throw her under the bus too now. Fuck you and our pinky bitch.
Told me to distract her. Distract? So I'm just an idiot?
Correct!
We conclude we have to actually go get some cigarettes and milk now, as Frosty the Snowman storms off, but still being leashed, he ends up dragging Rebecca with him. I ask why they left this camp in the first place.
Clem, I don't know what he told you, but William...
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Ain't no way you're scared of someone named William. No wonder they refer to him as Carver for the rest of the game. They gaslight me into joining them, seeing as I'm the only capable adult here, even though it would probably be safer for me to join Carver's side, since their fear of William must mean him and his boys are strapped up to the teeth with fake IDs for 6 different countries. First things first, they want to see the remains of Pete, so I lead them to where we were. Miss Frizzle apologizes for being the Oxford definition of bitch and offers me a field trip as tribute, which I happily accept as long as the next field trip is towards her gray brain matter to figure out how the fuck someone as mentally deficient as her survived so far while Black Jesus didn't. She starts trauma dumping on me as I quickly leave her side before she asks the crack pack for my last ice cream carton. We get to Pete's last stand and fucker was Pop.
Didn't have a gun.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I said we out, bitch, don't make me get my super suit. Luke feels bad for gaslighting me, so he wants to make sure I'm all in, balls deep level, and I tell him no condom level. No way someone dressed like a crack den resident named William is gonna get the better of me. We skip to 5 days later after arduously traveling across the Underground Railroad, arriving at the bridge Ukraine blew up a couple weeks ago. I scout out a ski lodge on the top of the mountain as we decide to send out a reconnaissance mission, with me and Luke leading the charge before we all cross. Kind of a risky situation to take all our brain cells with us, but since they're only going to be sitting around waiting, I highly doubt they'll do anything stupid. Carlos doesn't want me to go before I eloquently batter his rebuttal. Triggerfingers tries to join, but we aren't forming the Suicide Squad and gives the whole group a little bit of a chuckle before me and Luke set out. I ask why Carver is still following us after 5 days, worried we might have taken his dog or something in a hopeless situation, and Luke dodges the question with his own. What's the most important thing in life?
Family.
He says ask Rebecca, he doesn't want to get in the middle of it, not realizing we're running across the fucking Underground Railroad, so I'd say we very much are in the middle of it. We meet a couple walkers positioned away from us like hitman enemies, staunchly on guard. No Crimean bridge is getting blown up under their watch. But unlike Alvin, Clementine's got that dog in her instead of the doggo. Luke Skywalker one-ups me with his lightsabers, my hammer gets stuck in this guy's cranial fossa, with Luke feeling like giving me tips with the hammer, as if I didn't do this before. In a shed, while injured, out in the coal. You remember that, Luke? He tells me not to talk back to him, though, reminding me CPS isn't a thing in the apocalypse. Unfortunately, the 4chaners catch up to us, leaving me and Luke spit roasted. Luke drops through the bridge, and it's up to me to pick up the mantle of urban survivor training, dropping a walker and then another, raising my NFL draft stock astronomically, as well as leaving Luke wondering how I got into this position. After trapping a walker with my ankle take, looks human enough. Look, it's the middle of November. I couldn't resist. Her throating the lightsaber without gagging isn't exactly helping my Excalibur either. Shit's completely out of the fucking stone at this point. Eventually, I give Luke a pull to save his ass until...
You see him?
He asked me to do the talking, leaving me dumbfounded at his irresponsibility, letting an 11-year-old take control of the diplomatic situation, but he actually makes a really good point. After putting on some cat ears and practicing my ooh-woo voice in the highest pitch possible, I make my move. The guy asks if we're assholes before I let him know we're homo sapiens, and he's pretty chill after that. He also offers us some food. Wait, I know where this is going.
Flashback.
Last time we were offered an all-you-can-eat buffet, we didn't read the fine print stipulating we were the buffet. He says he sees people going up north all the time, presumably to Wellington, so I ask about Krista, but after he offers me some hope, he immediately shatters it, proving his mastery in manipulation. Unfortunately, Nick's ass followed us. It's a good thing he wouldn't shoot from that far away, not with me and Luke in the way, and not with us waving to him, obviously not in harm's way, considering that the gun isn't even aimed at us, nor were we taken hostage, leaving Nick with no real reason to fight. I ran out of jokes for this dumbassery, man. You beat me, game. Just go next. Unfortunately, Matthew over here got shot in the neck and ends up dropping from the bridge. Unfortunately, he wasn't a TCLR subscriber who can survive even the most fatal of shots to the neck. Let's go ahead and see what happens when 2 TCLR subscribers battle it out.
Steven, fly. Timmy, transform. Steven, use shadow clone jutsu. Timmy, rewind time. Steven, cook minute rice in 58 seconds.
So leave a like and subscribe if you too want to survive fatal shots to the artery. Cook minute rice in 57 seconds, perhaps even 56 if the laws of physics allow it. And 2, more importantly, not miss out on future content. Nick's gaslighting doesn't take him far, as Clementine is as exasperated as I am.
Shut up, Nick.
Man, you can't fall any lower in life when an 11-year-old tells you to shut the fuck up. As we get ready to start moving, Rebecca's out of breath, and Alvin, considering his leash doesn't reach too far, leaves me as his only hope, asking me to find her something to eat. The game tries humanizing Nick, which doesn't do anything for me since I don't think he's an asshole, I just think he's retarded.
I'm sure they're talking about me right now. Look, he's becoming a danger to the group.
Yeah. Take a hint. Also, this scene is why you're rewarded for stealing a watch back in episode 1. I sneak into the miniature house, see a chest from Skyrim that's locked. Good thing someone left a knife lying around with the initials WM for some reason. Wonder who this fine craftsmanship could belong to. After opening the chest and thanking God there was no trap that would send me to an overleveled area in Elden Ring, we see some books and some canned peaches, so unfortunately nothing edible. Also, judging by the current literature, it seems the Winds of Winter is taking just as long in their universe as it is in ours. Alvin, on the other hand, is fine with peaches and switches his relationship status with Nick to friendless after what he did. I mean, could you imagine someone shooting without thinking, seemingly out of nowhere from misplaced anger of losing a father figure?
Actually, yeah.
Due to our current struggles in the Underground Railroad, Alvin asked me to keep the food a secret since Rebecca's feeding for 2 and he doesn't want to have to go one-on-one with the Supreme Court, to which I acquiesce. Unfortunately, the slave hunters are right on our tail as the entire group is forced to make an emergency getaway. Finally, we reach Canada, but we have to scope out the area to make sure there are no traps or anything. Luke, for once, has a great idea. He asks me to go check and see if anyone is following us, just to make sure we have them off our tail. He reassures that he'll catch me, kind of, installing the same trust as the I won't invade Ukraine probably level of confidence. I get to the top of the watchtower, saving my current run of Assassin's Creed 3, but just as I see a hay bale I can jump into, they're coming. Multiple flashlights, middle of the night, they're searching for something, and as I go to tell the group, I see some commotion breaking out. Unfortunately, Nick is armed with a rifle, so we're about T-minus 10 seconds away from the Boston Massacre, except this time in the Great White North.
Calm down.
Hey man, you calm the fuck down.
Sarah, get behind me.
Just tell us who you are.
We ain't here to rob nobody. Put the gun down, man.
Fuck that.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Please, just do what he says.
Henny.
Wait, you know this guy?
Clementine?
It's my boy. Translate what they said down below in the comments. All I could hear in this conversation was... We get inside the ski lodge owned by Walter, who's got that
21, can you do something for me?
Type energy, which even Kenny agrees with. Kenny also says Walter makes a mean can of beans, as if the damn beans aren't already pre-cooked. Like, come on. It's like going up to Gordon Ramsay.
What is it?
Hey Gordon, I can make a mean frozen pizza. Although, to be fair, I'd probably fuck that up too.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich. The cabin group wants to hold on to their weapons, still not trusting Drake and White Jesus, which I think nothing of, until Nick says he wants to keep his rifle, activating my crisis mode as I put all 21 of my chromosomes and third grade intellect to use. Kenny, of course, being my urban boy, looks to me and I vouch for the group and we defuse the situation. Good thing too, because I don't know what's more dangerous, having Ben in charge of anything or having Nick wielding a firearm. Doesn't matter, I guess. Either way, I'd probably just start digging our graves. Kenny brings up the biggest horned goat and even comforts me when it looks like I'm about to use the WM knife to commit recoil damage. I tell him about my bizarre adventures and he tells me he somehow escaped the clusterfuck, leaving Ben to become the first paraplegic walker and how Sarita met him and nursed him back to health.
Clem, this is my girl, Sarita. Ain't she beautiful?
Yes, she fucking is beautiful. Kenny, most beautiful woman on earth. I just come buckets hearing her name. If you ever feel tired one night, I'll pleasure her. Don't you worry, Kenny. You can count on me. And of course, someone named Matthew is still rooting around. I'm sure we'll meet him soon. I go help Walter with dinner, albeit with my controller unplugged in this episode of MasterChef. Wolverine, 20 years after the Logan movie, says he has no idea what he'd do without Matthew because family. So I hope he comes back home soon. Now that I think about it, the knife has the initials WM. Walter Matthew? Nah. Surely just a coincidence. After the second time someone compares me to Aunt Jemima's Georgia Peaches, he tells me he's got it and I go to set up the Christmas tree. Sarita tells me how she found Kenny in an old Burger King. God bless his soul, he must have been broken beyond belief if he was loitering around those premises. I make it to the top to find a topper for the tree, and Alvin and the Chipmunks are talking about how it's been a week and no way Carver's still chasing them. Which reminds me, the ops are approaching. I tell them, and instead of dipping immediately, the fuckers go, nah. She was probably seeing things. Hey, Atticus, this is an adult conversation. Rebecca, come get your pet. I saw the fuckers coming, so unless you want to get To Kill a Mockingbird, let's pack up and hustle on out of here. Despite telling them the British are coming, Carlos goes, nah, we can stay the night. The night? The night? No wonder he acts like a doctor. That's probably his best skill, because it damn sure ain't smuggling people through the Underground Railroad. This guy was hiding in hay bales in 1940s Germany with Anne Frank. We'd all know her as Anne who, because her damn diaries wouldn't even be published. I put the angel on the tree to Sarah's delight before asking who Matthew is.
Oh, he's a handsome man. Little shorter than Walter. He should be back soon.
Nah, I'm sure that's just a coincidence, probably.
Got it, hon.
I think I can manage, Ken.
I said I got it.
Always has to play the gentleman.
I think this is what domestic abuse victims with Stockholm Syndrome debuffs are like. Not the best build, honestly, but to each their own. Clem's been carrying the story so hard, Rebecca ends up trauma dumping everything onto our broad shoulders, and how Alvin will kill her if he finds out it's not his, which I don't even know what to tell you, man. You should have just fapped instead of getting those cheeks clapped. You should have kept your caboose loyal instead of your panties soiled. Even the baby is pissed at my jokes and starts thrashing about, to which I quickly flex on and show my functioning auditory system. Alvin comes back.
Just need to get some food in you.
Oh no, Alvin, trust me. She's had her fill of all the protein she'll ever need. Afterwards, dinner is served. Beans and peach. I swear to God, Southerners eat like dog shit. Fried pickles, beans and peach. No wonder the average American is built like a wrecking ball. Your buddy can't even comprehend what the fuck you're eating and reacts like you got an allergic reaction. I have to make a choice. Luke's table or Kenny? As if that's even a competition. Luke is dope as hell, but Kenny is my boy, and it's my first night seeing him, so you're damn sure I'm sitting with his ass. I don't know why Luke's pissed, looking like his girlfriend asked him to spice up their sex life with a new pegging toy. Oh, she's catching up with her friend she hasn't seen in years. I don't want that. Not for 10 years at least. Kenny asks if Luke is a brother, and I say from my daddy's balls, easing his concerns. After telling him the group and Big Al are being chased by some homeless people, Kenny balks at the thought of losing out to someone with dirtier drip than Sub-Saharan Africa and offers me a spot on the ski team. Luke and Nick come to join us shortly afterwards, and Kenny, being the progressive he is, congratulates them on their fallacious relationship. But this game was made back in 2013, so Nick's honor ends up being challenged instead. Kenny says he wants to go to Wellington, which is where me and Krista were headed, and then we get that classic Kenny dialogue with the new version of Ben.
Michigan?
You got a hearing problem, kid? Yeah, Michigan. Think about it. Fresh water, lots of land. and cold-ass winters so the walkers get slow.
Sounds like bullshit.
Listen, Vanilla Ice, I don't know what your deal is.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga! You know nothing about that!
The pioneer of the LGBT movement tells everyone to shut the fuck up, and Kenny makes a valid mistake.
Pass me that can, Duck.
Duck? Who's Duck?
Luke. Not the time. Walter comes in and saves the awkward silence.
21, can you do something for me?
Drake tries telling me that the world isn't over and explains a quote from Socrates or something before letting us know Matthew is an avid George R.R. Martin fan. Boy, they sure love reading. Kinda makes you think.
Right.
And of course, someone named Matthew is still
Little
running
shorter
around.
than Walter.
Licking doorknobs is illegal on other planets.
I'm starting to think we should tell Wolverine Matthew ran off to the farm to be happy. Kenny comes out and says he's gonna check the windows and holy shit, it's the home wrecker. She asks for food and says she and her children are starving. Walter offers her some and this bitch thinks we're friends. I'm not going out like D, so drop the act, crack, bong, blaster, Bonnie. After the Red Cross over here gives her a month's worth of supplies, Kenny tells me to go inside and let him and Walter talk, which I imagine is gonna go something like, Luke, showing a lack of competency in hide and seek, invites me over for a secret converse. Fuck Matthew is the bridge guy. I mean, honestly, even Ben is astonished right now. Don't get me wrong, Ben still owns a disabled parking pass, but Nick has that parking spot reserved with the red carpet and complimentary champagne to boot. Luke tells me to get rid of the knife because Walter's a lot smarter than Nick and can put 2 and 2 together. Unfortunately, the man of the hour arrives, but it's easy enough for me to distract him with a 3rd grade education and problem-solving skill.
No.
What, you don't trust me now?
Take a hint, dumbass. When an 11-year-old is in on your secret, that's your cue to disconnect from life. I go to grab the knife, fuck me right upside the head with an oversized cucumber in my super suit. This is so bad, Clem's looking like she's trying to find Lee to come handle this, forgetting he was too good for this world. With Walter fondling the blade instead of Matthew's the jig is up, but I'm not, goddammit, and put those hours gaslighting Sarah to use. He already knows it's Nick. I mean, everyone else has obvious brain cells.
Is Nick a good man? Or is he just like everyone else?
I really don't know how to answer this question, but I thought to myself, what would you do with the special ed kids in middle school? And so I went easy on him, although not an entirely accurate analogy, of course. I don't trust Nick that much. The man of the hour. Swear to God, this redneck is like a period, shows up at the worst times possible, and we have Nick acting like an Ace Attorney witness every time you catch them in a lie.
Objection!
Hold it!
Objection!
After throwing the knife away, wasting our limited resources, the windmill goes out of control, signaling to the 4chaners our current location. Nick gives me the Glock since an 11-year-old is most definitely more qualified for one. While Kenny and Luke go to fix the transformer, we're out of capable people, and so they ask me to turn off the windmill, which I expect to be a difficult puzzle since even the adult I just turned it off.
Is you dumb?
Something ain't right.
It's even worse than I could have suspected. Instead of 4chaners, they sent in special forces. It's r/Neckbeard. We have limited showers in a can remaining, so we have to get back inside. The Neckbeards quickly identify the underage girl and send everything they have at me. I only have so many bullets, and as I'm about to be dressed up as their favorite anime girl, Carlos comes in. Not 1, not 2, not 3 bullets to the midbrain, saving me from a fate worse than death. No wonder he has his medical degree. The Narcos gang bestowed it upon him from Pablo Escobar's hands himself, for the servants to the Colombian crack trade. Unfortunately, there's one more eternal virgin left, and for some reason, Clem doesn't run, not as if he's barring my retreat, but her honor is at stake. No living down getting one-upped by a Reddit moderator, of course. Shotgun's a little too strong for me, but Clem's quick thinking saves us as she invites the incel to come study the blade, not knowing today's lesson will be more hands-on in nature. Due to all Nick's been doing this entire episode, they misidentify him as a little girl, but Walter saves his ass for some reason. Personally, I would have popped Nick right then and there. Oh, you know, from from that distance, it looked like anyone. I thought he was gonna shoot my friend. Walter and Carlos come in with that Shaq and Kobe combo, absolutely massacring those walkers. Greatest tag team duo I've ever seen. I get insight to Alvin and Rebecca protecting the person most at risk from the lunatics, but just as we're about to be overrun,
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
Unfortunately, Mexican Fred unmasks them to find it was, we don't talk about his first name, Carver, and this is why this home-wrecking ball stunt double for Miley Cyrus is the biggest op in Season 2, being the, God forgive my blasphemy, Vernon level of opposition. Carver reminds Fred that there's no cops around to arrest him, so he beats his ass for the unmask, showing Carlos is gonna get away with it too despite those meddling kids. With most everyone captured, I sneak my way upstairs to a meeting of the Resistance. Uh-oh, it's a lazily named NPC. Yeah, 50 for Johnny getting his brains blown out like a literal representation of Mia Khalifa.
I'm only gonna ask you once. Where's Rebecca?
Fuck, he's racist. We gotta go.
Rebecca, our baby deserves to be raised in a place of safety.
Oh no. No. It's worse than I thought. Worse than I could ever dream of. The entire reason we were evading him for 5 nights, lost our home, had to travel across inhuman conditions was 'cause he was a communist. Alvin is like, you know, maybe socialism is alright, to which I quickly remind him who's on the leash.
But yeah, we can't do nothing.
After a couple of Carlos's phalanges are broken, unfortunate too since no one knows how to treat the injury in this building, with his only response asking,
21. Shoot him! Somebody just shoot him!
I say I'll go find Luke or Kenny and retrieve my super suit to prepare a surprise reverse counter penetration that William isn't going to expect in Operation Future Is Now, old man. Honestly though, the plan should have been Operation Black Canary without Sarah screaming. I'm sure a few more broken bones could have unleashed a paralyzing supersonic scream to paralyze the drive-byers. Or would it be drive-byes? Let me know down below in the comments. Alvin lets me escape through the attic, and as I'm making my way through, Kenny is strapped up with that motherfucking thing, getting ready to pop bitches. Ask where Luke is, and he says Luke was whining so we went hiking. Kind of a bad time, but the allure of nature could wet anyone's panties, so I understand. Carver the mad lad strokes Rebecca's face in front of her mans.
Get an ambulance! Man down!
Fuck you, Bill.
You say that now, but don't act like you weren't screaming his name when he knocked you up like, Bill! Kenny asks me if we can handle them, and I say probably not, but the Sigma male doesn't take orders from others, and only ask me so he could assert dominance over my decision afterwards. Oops, forgot Walter was just a vessel for Nick's character arc, and with that plotline wrapped up, it's time to kill him for some character development. We change our sniping positions, and Bill does the unthinkable, and takes Alvin off his leash, allowing him freedom for the first time in years. The nice guy's even willing to free Alvin's tether from this earth. What a fantastic gentleman. Unfortunately, I want to vent about this game in the next episode, so I prevent Kenny from going 0-2. We'll get to where Season 2 really falls off the rails next video. Fuck you, Bonnie. By the time I'm finished with you, I'm sending you to the real Bonnie, tucked in between her and Clyde 6 feet under. Bill Nye without his kid show laments at Luke, calling him a pussy, even doing that thing to try to get him out of hiding, but no luck.
We're going home. As a family.
What the fuck are you gonna do, man? It's his bitch now. Man, if I was Alvin right now, I'd probably...
Consider the phone.
And that's episode 2. Really good one of the last great ones in season 2. Episode 3 is good in my opinion, but it falls off hard afterwards. This is where Telltale really started showing its cracks and would ultimately be its Achilles heel. We'll get into why next episode, but all in all, another classic. We got my boy back. We met Bill Nye, the homeless guy from Flint, Michigan, and Nick really performed and is expected to overtake Ben as the world's biggest dumbass after that virtuoso. If you enjoy, leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on future content, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.